Good morning, fellas.
Yo.
Good morning.
Sorry, I was a little late. I had to get my coffee. That actually reminds me. I found out what Steve Rogers' favorite drink is at Starbucks. His favorite coffee.
Ooh, is
Yeah,
it
what's
Starbucks
that?
on the moon?
What's that?
Is it the Starbucks on the moon?
No, it's not. Well, any Starbucks, I suppose, that he
Fair
walks
enough.
into. He always orders one iced Americano.
Oh.
That hits home for him.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Hey, man, whatever gets you through the day, right?
I'll have a drink to that.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. Corey, Nick, and Kevin here, as always. And in today's episode, we are going to be reviewing and reacting to the season or series, possibly, finale of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, big spoiler warning up front. If you have not watched the entire series, there will be spoilers about all 6 episodes. Gents, how you feeling after this? Feeling good? Feeling bad? Feeling sad? What's the deal?
Nick, you want to...
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm a little bummed it's over.
Yeah.
But it may not be. We don't know
It's
for
true.
sure yet 100%.
We may
Yeah.
not know.
They have teased the possibility
Yeah.
of the second season.
It's kind of like
It's
a
almost
bittersweet
like Marvel
ending.
likes to do stuff like that.
It seems like they, they like to do this. They also like to do little spin-off things like, Book of Boba. So
Yeah.
We'll see what we have in.
Book of Bucky.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he had the little book with the therapist lady.
Yeah.
That's cute.
He's gonna write his own. He's gonna write his own book now.
Yeah. I have a feeling if they do it, it's not going to be called Falcon and the Winter Soldier anymore.
Nope.
Just be People I've Killed. A memoir by Bucky. Barnes. All right, so in this episode, a lot of shit happens.
Oh yeah.
Just to give a quick recap on it, I was right in our predictions. There was a big fight. Hey, got that one right.
True.
Sam Wilson is Captain
Nailed it.
America now. He's got the suit. He's got the wings. He's got the shield. John Walker showed back up, and he's the U.S. agent now. Contessa's still doing shit. Sharon Carter's the power broker. Zemo's in the raft, but his butler's causing mayhem. All sorts of wildness happened in this one. I'm excited to hear thoughts from the two of you. So we'll cover a little bit of what we thought of this episode, and then after that we'll go into our thoughts on the series as a whole.
Yeah.
That's really the best way to give it a grade, I think, is not on a per episode basis, but for the entire story. So Nick, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on this episode? Likes, dislikes, qualms, anything?
I'd say overall, I really enjoyed it. Again, even though we predicted certain things, half the time I believe some of them will and won't be true. Right, like I wasn't too sure if Walker was going to die at all. Obviously making an appearance, which at the end he did come out in his comic book suit, as U.S. agent. So I mean, it's great to see that is established, officially with Val.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think overall, again, you still sort of have this, and not like a bad feeling for Walker, because he's an interesting character overall, but you kind of see him fighting with and alongside Bucky and Sam, when the truck is about to go over and he ditches going after Carly to save the people, and that's probably the first Captain America thing he's done all season.
Yeah.
And it was sort of great to see that, and this episode was a bit of a redemption episode for him, in my opinion, and I kind of wonder what that's going to set up for the future, because this I believe this isn't the last time we'll see U.S. agent. We're setting up something great, I think, for his comic line, and So I'm excited to see where that goes. And I think they pretty much pulled everything in nicely with a nice little bow on top. I know some people might think, oh, it was a cop out with making Sharon Carter the power broker, but I mean, we called that after episode 4. So I think
After the first time we saw her, whatever that episode was.
Yeah, it's like she probably, when they were in Madripoor,
Yeah.
So it's like she probably is the power broker. So not a big shock there. Part of me didn't want it to be true. I wanted it to maybe be another surprise cameo, like she was working for the power broker.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is what it is. She gets reinstated as Agent Carter again. It's like, well, now the mole has been planted back in the U.S. government. And I mean, I think some of the greatest parts of the episode were circling Sam. His speech. The conversation. Again, like having someone of that stature talking to like the senators and trying to like talk about real problems was a great thing. But just him again, like sort of embodying that Captain America sense of not like an idol, but just the responsibility that comes along with it. I'm not here just to fight. I'm also here to try and help solve what other problems I can and really be of service. And I like the fact that we got to hear one of the suits call him Cap, and which is great to see. The outfit, uniform,
Stellar.
Awesome. Like I like the color scheme, obviously with the red, white, and blue. Like, but just the wings, like having Red Wing back, bit of an upgrade too, and then just the way he was able to utilize the suit with the shield, which was awesome. And I think that little fight scene with Carly, he's like, I'm not going to fight you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, very reminiscent of when in Captain America Winter Soldier, when Cap was fighting Bucky and he didn't want to fight Bucky, but when Bucky was talking to Carly, he's like, I've been down this path, kid. Like the mirroring here, the parallels were really great to see.
What's that? Is this George Lucas is calling it? Oh, it's like poetry. You see, it rhymes.
Yeah.
See?
Thanks to the Russo brothers too. But yeah, there's not much I didn't like about this episode, and everyone obviously has their opinions about it. And I'm not going to obviously name drop any other people who reviewed it, but I saw one review and they gave it a 5, and I'm like, okay. And it was before I saw it. After seeing it, again, I don't understand it, and I guess this is kind of a good point about talking about this sort of these sort of things about why we rate things the way we do, and what we have takeaways from the episode. But I'm sure what you guys say, I'll probably somewhat agree with, if not all of it. But I think it was a great finale for the season, possibly the series. That's all I'm going to say for now, because I kind of want to see what you guys say without rambling on for far too long. So
go ahead, Kevin. It's your turn.
I got to follow that now.
Yes.
No, I actually really enjoyed this episode. I think that, part of what we do is making these predictions, and most of my predictions don't necessarily come from a place of I really think this is what's going to happen. Most of my predictions come from a place of I hope this is what happens, and here's how I can justify it, right? And we predicted a while back that Sharon was going to end up being the power broker, and she did. But last week, I believe I predicted that the Contessa was going to be the power broker, which, after seeing it play out, I'm kind of glad that it didn't happen that way. So maybe there's a reason why Kevin Feige does what he does, But yeah, I mean, I liked pretty much every aspect of this particular episode, except for two things. I didn't want him to kill Carly. I kind of wanted I wanted them to keep her around as the character Flag Smasher.
Right.
Let her be on the loose. She has no more super soldier serum. Let her be the only one, and let her have this, army of supporters or whatever. At the same time, her death was the catalyst for Sam to give the speech, which is probably what solidifies him as Captain America. So,
yeah,
there was pluses and minuses to that. I'm not sure Batroc is dead. I think they want us to believe that he is. I don't like that they killed him, because I think he's a useful character moving forward. He is like a nice little B-level villain.
Yeah.
And at the same time, GSP, great actor. He pulled it off really well. The fights were great. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure he's dead. But if he is, then that's equally disappointing to me. I would echo a lot of the stuff that Nick says, but there's, some other stuff too that I was super psyched about. I mean, when, first of all, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is fucking fantastic.
So good.
She's gonna be great.
We've seen 3 minutes of airtime or something like that so far, but the thing that really stuck out to me was at the end where she goes, "Things are about to get weird."
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yes.
I'm all for it.
Yes, let's get real fucking weird.
Bring it on.
I want to see some Captain Britain and some Excalibur and some real weird shit that she's probably got cooking because she's, based over there in Europe or whatever. I want to see some of that. So I'm super psyched about that.
Yeah.
And I did not mind the about face from John Walker. I thought it was pretty apropos to his character that would happen, because he's been torn the entire time. And I think you're right, Nick. That is the first Captain America type thing that he's done. That's the only time that he's done something that Steve would have also done.
Yeah.
With Steve and Sam, they would rather not fight than to fight. Right? Their idea of being Captain America is protecting America, right, and being there to serve.
Right.
But let's do it in the least bloody way possible, and let's find some common ground.
Right.
On the other hand, John Walker is just a soldier who liked the idea of being Captain America. I saw a meme the other day that was like, it showed him saying, "I am Captain America," and then it showed Cap going, "I am Steve Rogers." And
that's great.
Like, well, that's beautiful, because
That's
Steve
great.
never identified as Captain America. Steve identified as Steve Rogers. It was just a suit that he wore to do his job.
Right.
So, but that about face I thought was really, really nice. One thing that I loved, when you see John the first time in this episode and he just yells, "Morgenthau," he sounded exactly like his dad. Oh my
like
god,
Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
he did.
when I heard him scream that, I was like, "Snake Plissken?
Is Ego here?
What's going on?"
Ego?
Oh,
The Guardians crossover. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from start to finish, I thought this was excellently done. Tugged on my heartstrings, got me misty with Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Loved seeing Sam be the badass that he is now. The suit was fantastic. I mean, I thought they were hitting on all cylinders, and especially with Sharon being reinstated. We've got this like level of Hydra being in the government now.
Yeah.
But instead of it being this world domination, it's just her being like greedy and capitalist and just there for the money, basically. So I don't know. I think it's pretty fantastic. What about you, Corey?
It's time to argue, boys.
All right. Okay. Let's do it.
So, Kevin and I talked about this a little bit, and this wasn't my favorite episode of the series.
Okay.
But I think part of that is the fact that, and I look back to WandaVision the same way. For me, the shows have been much more about the journey than the destination.
Right.
And like, I knew going into it, it was going to be like 30 minutes straight of just like CGI and punching. And to me, that it doesn't tell as much of a story as like the last episode or the one that came before it, right? Like the moment at the end of episode 4 where the shield is splattered in blood, like that could go in the opening Marvel Studios like fanfare, right?
Yeah.
The stuff in the last episode between Sam and Isaiah and the training montage with the shield and everything, like that was all stuff that builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then we just have like a typical Marvel fight thing, and then everything's over, right? So for me, that stuff, I don't know, it didn't land quite the way I wanted it to. The John Walker stuff, I don't mind the about face from him as a character. I do mind the complete lack of accountability for the fact that he just brutally murdered somebody in cold blood, and there are a bunch of authorities that are around letting him stand there, listen to Sam's speech after they stripped away his rights to be Captain America. And then he said, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna come back and be Captain America again anyways. And then all of a sudden he's US agent, and he's doing like this kind of thing to Contessa, and like, I'm back, baby, and he's like a weird little kid about it. Like it almost feels like the fact that he just lost his best friend and killed someone over it was like way in the rear view. So I don't know how I felt about that entirely. I'm with Kevin. I didn't want Carly to die. I thought she might have made a really fine addition to like a Thunderbolts team, or a Dark Avengers or something like that. Yeah. So Nick, you did predict that correctly though. You said you thought that all the Flag Smashers would die, and one got melted, one got shot, and 4 got blown up. So that was pretty good. I would.
Hey, what happened to the last guy that ended up in the river?
I don't know. They asked Sam if he could help, which was one of my favorite parts of the entire episode, because they said, hey Cap, can you help with this? And his answer was just always.
Yeah,
which is such a fucking hero thing to say. Like,
but we didn't see what happened to him, so I'm curious if he was on that truck that blew up, or if there's still one of them on the loose.
Could be. No, I don't know. But,
I think he might be on the loose, or we just didn't see what happened.
Or in custody or something. But anyway, sorry to interrupt, Corey.
But I would say I didn't hate the episode or anything. I know it sounds, because I'm the one that actually has criticism, like I'm the asshole that thought it was I didn't think it was a 5 out of 10. I thought that the IGN review, I'm calling them out, wasn't.
It was IGN.
Wasn't. I don't think it was a 5, but I don't think it was as strong as some of the other thematic stuff that came before it. However, the whole point of this show is to get over Sam Wilson as a character, and take somebody who wasn't up here, who's probably like a B-level character, flesh out his arc, make people connect with him, and bring him up here, right? The show nailed his characterization. They did 100%. So much in this to make the audience realize that Steve was right when he picked his successor. And that the government picking a successor is not the right way to go. So I thought all of that was terrific. The suit is excellent. The one scene where he used the wings and the shield to block.
That was so badass.
What was
when
it?
The helicopter?
Yeah, it was a helicopter.
Was falling.
Dude, amazing. So great. Him when he's landing while he's holding Carly.
It's very angelic.
Yeah, it was a lot of that was really,
it was like
really
Superman-y to me. Very same type of landing.
And the stuff with Isaiah at the end was my favorite
very
part
touching.
Of the entire episode. Was the fact that was the about face that I really liked, was Isaiah coming around to the fact that a black man can be Captain America, and he should be, and while Isaiah gets to still be in the shadows and not be alive, right, because he's supposed to be dead, he's now recognized, and his efforts don't go unnoticed, which is really cool. And all that was great. There were just some other things that kind of felt a little stumble-ish. I do feel like I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but there were some scenes where the characters like physically looked a little bit different. I think there were some reshoots that happened after the pandemic that might have shifted the storyline a little bit. But I don't know. Overall, I don't want to grade the series based off of a finale that didn't 100% land for me. I'd rather look at it as the series as a whole. So let's
Sure.
get into that. Or actually, before we do that, so for this episode, out of 10, what do you give this one, Nick?
I don't think it was the best one, and I think I graded episode 4 to be like a 9.5 or something like that. So, I'm gonna give it, man. I don't know. I was trying to think about this last night. I might go with a 9 over for this episode.
Okay.
Maybe 8.5, somewhere between there, I'd say.
Okay, Kevin, what'd you give this one?
9.
Okay, and I gave it a 7.8. So
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think it was
granular.
I didn't think it was the best episode, but I thought it
Yeah.
was actually. I thought things were wrapped up really well.
Sure,
Yeah.
and there is a lot to like.
of levels. Yeah.
You know, just because
Yeah.
there is some criticism doesn't mean that I hated it. Or
Sure. No,
anything
absolutely.
like that. And again, like I said at the beginning, I think I'm just really enjoying the long time that we take to get there. Like with this show, the themes and the struggle and the strife of being a black man in America and trying to take on that mantle, or in WandaVision, the mystery of what's going on and the study on grief and all that. To me, that stuff's more interesting than watching a bunch of people fly in the air, punching and kicking each other. So
You mean you don't want to see the Eagles carry the Hobbits straight to Mount Doom but drop the ring in?
correct.
Okay, right. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I like the journey, even if it's the extended edition and it takes me until I'm 64 years old to watch it. Yes. All right. So series as a whole, Kevin, where do you fall on this now that you've seen the entire journey? The new title card says Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that was
what are your thoughts on this one?
As a whole, I thought that this was phenomenal. I actually enjoyed it, I think, overall, even more than I enjoyed WandaVision.
I agree.
That's just as a
I agree.
complete work. I liked what you talked about in the story arc with Sam and fleshing that out and letting everybody else see what Steve saw. I thought that was fantastic. I like the story arc with Bucky, and his whole redemption, because honestly, you don't get to see much out of Bucky in any of those films.
No.
A few minutes here and there of him actually speaking. Most of the time, he just shuts up and fights. He's just there, you know?
Yeah.
So to see his actual personality come out, to see him be a little bit lighthearted, to see him get over his grief, to all of that kind of stuff, fantastic. I loved Zemo. I thought Zemo was fucking awesome, and I love the fact that his butler is still out there. Like
So
you
good.
said, you know, it's like this dude looks like he could keel over at any moment, and yet he's still out there. He just killed like 4 super soldiers with
Yes.
the push of a button.
Yep.
You know,
And he smiled while he did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. I mean, this dude. Come on. I expect big things out of him in the future. I also expect that, you know, Zemo is going to be around for a while. He's going to be causing havoc, and to be honest with you, I do see him teaming up with Contessa at some point, just based off of her reactions at the end to, you know, maybe it's almost like I planned it. I did.
Right.
Yeah, she absolutely planned it.
What
She
if I
planned
did?
it.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, they're obviously kind of working together now.
Yeah.
But as a whole, based on how much I enjoyed it and how much I feel like it's setting up the MCU for the future, I have to give it at least a 9.5, which I think is maybe slightly higher than if you averaged out all of my scores for the 6 videos.
Yeah, but that's
which
okay.
doesn't-
That's
Yeah, I
fine,
mean-
because now you're looking at the entire book instead of just chapters.
Exactly. So I just, there's not much that they could have done that would be better. My only gripes are things maybe that I'm like, I wouldn't have done it that way, or I would have maybe added this or gone in this direction. But
Right.
that's not for me, you know. So
Right.
did they do anything that was bad? No, I don't think so. I don't think they did anything that was bad. You know, yeah, so that's it. 9.5 for
Cool.
this year.
Nick, what about you?
Yeah. I think I need to watch the whole series from start to finish. Just block out 6 hours of my day, because why not?
We got the time.
Yeah.
We're all sitting around doing fuck all and nothing. So
Sounds like a nice rainy Saturday.
Pretty much, yeah. I think I liked it a lot more than WandaVision, and it's nothing to take away from Lizzie Olsen or Paul Bettany from like what they did actor or character wise, but again, just thinking about what this does for the MCU as a whole, to have Captain America back, and again, you have to think about it. Sam is basically going to be leading the Avengers now, which is a big feat, and there's a lot of impact that's going to be involved in that. And I want to believe that everyone will respect respect my authority.
You guys.
But let's say when Peter comes back, right? There's no Tony, but there's Cap. It's Sam.
right. Yeah.
And I think his suit was was kind of somewhat of a, obviously it's not a power armor because we still have Rhodey as War Machine, but it did sort of have this I don't know, like zippity doodah sort of Iron Man feel to it, which was
it gave Sam extra strength. It gave him extra defense. I mean,
right, like obviously it's Wakandan tech, which those things aren't going to be shattering anytime soon.
No.
So again, it's kind of a little bit of a foolproof there. I'd say overall though, a 9 would be a solid. Kind of like what Kevin was saying. Like, is 9.5 too high? Maybe not. But again, I think averaging out my numbers, I was trying to think about while Kevin was talking, I probably would give a 9 overall for that sake. But again, it could be a little bit higher than that if you watch it from start to finish, just because of the overall feel to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, watch the Snyder cut when you've got 6 parts or whatever. Okay, do the same thing now with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you get that same feel to it. Slightly a little bit longer than the Snyder cut, and slightly better.
I want to splice that up.
Yeah. So that would actually be really cool if somebody could do that and just get rid of all the credit sequences and just roll it all into one big movie and see how it plays.
Or Disney should just do that. Like,
I felt like they should have done the same thing with the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars last year.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Get rid of the credits and just let that be one giant movie. I think it would work really well. I think the same thing would apply here. But I'd say 9 also. For the series as a whole. Look, there's 2 things that I really wanted from this show. One, I wanted to see Sam Wilson become Captain America by the end of it, so we checked the box on that. And 2, I wanted to see a little bit of a struggle between that moment in Endgame when he's handed the shield and when he accepts his new challenge and his journey as Captain America. And we got both of those things.
Got that.
And I think Disney's goal, and what their goal should be with these shows, which they've demonstrated 2 times now, that they need to take secondary characters and elevate them to main characters. And WandaVision took little Wanda Maximoff, who was over in this corner doing her cute little finger shit. They turned her into the fucking Scarlet Witch. She is a major player in the MCU moving forward now, right? And in this one, they took Sam Wilson, who people couldn't even get his name right. They called him Black Falcon in this show, right? And they've elevated him to Captain America, probable leader of the Avengers. And it was good enough that the news came out right after the finale that the writer and showrunner of this show is developing a script for a 4th Captain America film. That's sick. Which means mission accomplished, right? You get people to buy into the show, buy into the character, then you make the big movie and you go make $1 billion off of it. Like, from a business model, that makes perfect sense. So
like literally a $1 billion.
Right. The movie will probably make $1 billion when it comes out. So I think huge mission accomplished with the show. Were parts of it's messy. Sure, I'm sure COVID had a hand in that.
Right.
You know, is any TV series perfect? No. But I think they did a damn good job with this one. And I love how they've accelerated a bunch of different trajectories for different stories within the MCU in both of these shows so far. So for me, a solid 9.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they would have pulled in Rhodey, you know,
At the end
more.
there.
At the end.
Yeah,
you
I think we predicted that or mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
we saw him at the beginning. I think it would have been nice to see them start to pull the Avengers back together.
well,
You know, we saw the beginnings of Cap, and that's great. But to just throw in a couple of other things, just, you know, give us Rhodey or give us, I don't know, somebody else to just pop in there. But it was really great that they leaned so heavily into Wakanda. So, you know, we got a little bit that I wasn't expecting, and then we got a lot that didn't happen that I was expecting. So
yeah, and I think just to quickly tack on to that, you know, with Rhodey, and maybe why it would have been cool, and maybe a little bit more powerful to have him in there, because he was the one that spoke with Sam about why didn't you pick up the shield?
Yep.
mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing about you know, Rhodey was close to Tony, but because Rhodey has been, you know, still serving the country, you know, he understands what Steve Rogers was all about, right? So again, that serving aspect, and like, bro, you should just take the shield, like it's yours. Take it, it's yours. Little Troy pun there, but you know, I think for the sake of having Rhodey just come in and like having Rhodey sit, like you said, bringing the Avengers back together, seeing like Rhodey seeing, oh shit, that's a fly ass suit, Sam. Like, and the shield, what?
Yeah.
And then, but
well, you leapfrogged me, pal. Thanks.
Right? Yeah. But you know, and it's strange that for a second I thought he was coming in when Sam's talking to Bucky, like, I called in a favor, and it was Sharon. I was kind of like, I mean, that's not really a favor, but
It's also a dumb move, because Sharon Carter's wanted by the U.S. government, and she just shows up in the United States.
But they're not looking for
She's
material. I'm
also
like,
the one that
they
put Batroc there to kick Sam's ass. So
yeah, and as a
stuff.
spy for Carly, you know. I mean, part of me thought that, yeah, like, again, is Batroc dead? Maybe not. You know, and I know Sharon, you know, put 3 rounds into Carly, but part of me also thought she does have super soldier serum in her. Would the internal bleeding maybe kind of hold that off? Because, you know, it's not like it's like Sam left her there. Like he put her on.
She went to the hospital.
The hospital. So I wonder if, you know, maybe she does come back as the Flag Smasher.
I think that'd be great, because I mean, you do see Steve Rogers got his ass handed to him by Thanos, and he was still ready to fight, and then this bitch gets taken out by 3 bullets.
That's what I was like,
Come
I was like, I don't know. Cap fought fucking, you know, Thanos, you know, a Titan
with a half of a shield.
Titan.
Just like,
I could do this all day on the left, you know, like, I mean, it's very possible, and I think just to kind of have those characters come back, like you were saying, Corey, the B characters to become more A level. You know, I mean, I know there's the possibility that we could see more seasons of this too.
Yeah,
which
definite possibility.
You know, Sebastian Stan was like, "I'll do anything they say." You know, they want me in this movie, I'm there. They want me in this show, I'm there. So
it'd be cool just to see a spin-off of just the Winter Soldier, or the White Wolf, as it were.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they're gonna do that, because I mean, I again, the heartstrings when he goes and confronts the last name on his book, and you know, I like the way they pulled it off and the way it was written. The way he delivered it by saying the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
he was killed by the Winter Soldier. I'm not the Winter Soldier.
Right.
You know, and just to express that concern, or to yeah, I'd say everything about what he's been through. Very, very tragic for him.
Yeah.
Being brainwashed for decades. You know, it's like you can't really hate him for it, but he's a new man now, and I would like to see him, you know, maybe become and go by the White Wolf.
Yeah, I think a new moniker would be good for him, whether it's the White Wolf. I saw someone online say that he should become the new Nomad, which would be interesting. Something other than the
Bucky.
Winter Soldier, right? Because you
Yeah.
don't want him
Bucky's
to identify
fine,
as a
but-
murderer anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
So
Well,
And
listen,
maybe
you know,
he'll hit up Sarah. You know, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
he can start a family now.
they'll do a
You know, who
sitcom
knows?
like WandaVision.
I think that it is very obvious that we all liked this because we have rambled on for like over half an hour
Yeah,
Far too long now.
100%.
about this show. So yeah, I mean,
Our
I think-
watch time on YouTube is going to get completely shit on for this, but
Yeah, the algorithm is going to hit us for this episode, but whatever. You know,
Hopefully,
we
everyone
just-
watching this loves what we've been saying and can agree to it.
And if not,
If you
hopefully
stuck
you
around
turned it
this
off
long.
25 minutes ago.
Yeah, you know. But either way, I think we gave it a solid like 9.125 or something like that if you
Yeah.
average it out. So
Yeah.
over 9 stars for this one. So
Yeah. And as soon as this one was done, all I could think of was, all right, bring on Loki. Let's just go
Loki.
to the next one. I'm ready to see more
What's
of
next?
this stuff. So
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Sam.
sweet. So let's take this one home, gents. Guys, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you thought about not just this episode, but the series as a whole, kind of the same way we did here in this episode. Go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications. We will have a Mortal Kombat review for you this week. I think this week is also the finale of Invincible on Amazon. I've been saying for multiple videos that we're going to review that. I think we're going to just do the whole season once it's wrapped
Yeah.
up. So be on the lookout for that soon. You know, we also are going to cover Star Wars: The Bad Batch, which comes out in like a week and a half. So that's super exciting. The hits just keep on coming. So
Oh yeah.
definitely make sure to stay tuned to this channel. We are not going anywhere. So for Nick and Kevin, I'm Corey, and we'll see you guys in the next video.